The owl is a bit of an enigma because on the surface, the owl is very wise when it comes to researching and understanding your book and how to write your book and all that kind of stuff. But where the owl becomes discouraging is that's all the owl wants to do. The owl has no intentions of writing a book. Zero. No intentions of helping you write a book. So the owl's answer for everything that you ask it is, you better do a little bit more research. Just a little bit more. Because you're not a writer. So you need to research the topic first before you even begin to write one single paragraph. You should understand everything there is about that subject. Everything. So if you're writing about, let's say you're doing a review on a sports car, maybe it's the new Alfa Romeo or something like that. You need to look at everything. You need to know what kind of an engine it has, who invented that engine, who designed that engine, how fast does it go, what are all the primary colors, what kind of leather make up the seats. If it's leather, maybe it's something else. What about the tires, the trunk size? Is there a trunk? How good is it in braking? Like, how good is it in braking? How about winter time? Is it going to be safe? You better check the safety standards, all that kind of stuff. So the owl will remind you of this constantly. You need to do research. You need to do more research. More research. It's almost like a little song. But that's all the owl wants you to do. The owl will even ask you to memorize stuff and make sure that you know it inside and out, because you don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want somebody else coming up to you knowing something more than you. So that is the owl. That is the discouraging thing about the owl. It starts off all innocent. And if you were to ask the dove about the owl, the dove would simply say, write down what your goal is for the day. Write down your topic. Write down your chapter heading. And then work on that. Fill it in. Yes, you can do some research, but set a time limit. Just say, you know what, I'm going to spend 20 minutes researching, and then I'm going to write for 40 minutes. That's fine. That's okay. But if that's all you're doing is researching and taking notes, you're not writing a book. You will never finish your book. So the dove would simply say, write more. It's basically there's a theme. If you're really listening, every answer that the dove will say regarding any bird of discouragement is always going to be write more. If you're discouraged, it's probably because you're not writing enough. All right, so that is the all-wise, all-knowing owl. So again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do research, but that's not all you should be doing. You should be writing more than you're researching. That's what you need to focus on. Write more than you research. Trust me, you have enough in your head right now that you can write libraries of books. You have so much knowledge in your head. You don't need to take another online video course. You don't need to take another seminar. You don't need to buy another book teaching you how to write a book. Unless, of course, it's this book. But I hope you could see that this book is designed so that you can put the book beside you and go, man, boy, I'm feeling like I'm inadequate right now. I'm feeling discouraged. I feel like I can't write. And then what you need to do is you need to write about that. You can write it down. Like, there's no harm in brain dumping. That's what I call it, where you just whatever it is you're talking about, you could write on anything. If you want to get the juices flowing, you could say, Oh, look, what kind of a hammer is this? Oh, this is a hammer for ring making. This is to help people taper their rings a little bit better. And notice the shape and all this kind of stuff and how it feels and the weight and all that kind of stuff. So you can brainstorm, you can brain dump, all that kind of stuff. And I would encourage you to brain dump often regarding your book. So if there's a topic that you want to uncover, you don't have to always go online to research it, but just talk about it. Hit it from different angles, all kinds of angles. And if you write more, you will finish your book. So that is the owl.